this is Brenda from Cottontail Farms, and first I wanted to thank Dizzy Stitches, Mo Carpenter, and Frugal Mama in the Woods for subscribing. Thank you. Today I'm going to wash up some alpaca fiber that I got from last year's Lambtown, which is in Dixon, California. It's a small fiber festival. And this is half of Serena's blanket, probably a little less than half, but it's beautiful brown taupey, and so I want to wash it up. I think I might blend it with some of my Angora, and so I thought I would wash it up today, and I'm using the Avalon Bay Spin washer and dryer, and it's a good combination and easy to use. And the nice thing with the alpaca, as opposed to doing some of the lamb's wool, sheep's wool, is we don't have to worry about lanolin, so don't have to worry about getting it super hot, and it's an easier wash, and for me it doesn't felt as easily as some of the real fine fiber sheep. So I'm going to fill this up with warm water, and you probably won't, it's loud, so I'll turn that down, but I'm just testing it. I could have filled this in anything. Usually I use a Tupperware box, especially for as how hot as I need it to get for the sheep's wool. But since we're not having to deal with that, it's just going to be hot water. It's not going to be a certain degrees because we're not dealing with the lanolin. I'm going to just do the whole thing in here. And the little spinning, you can see it turning, huh? The little spinning thing does come out, so that's nice in that we're not moving the fleece around a lot. Otherwise, I have a big strainer that I will use, and I'll lift out the fleece that way. And I'm filling it up ahead of time, and I'll put the soap in ahead of time because I don't want it running over the fibers. I don't want to accidentally agitate it and get it to felt. The other thing that this Avalon Eco Spin will do is when you put the clothes in it, which is basically what it was intended for, you can spin them and it's like your own little washing machine. But I'm not going to do that either. I don't want the agitation of the moving water going against the fibers and threatening to felt it. So I'm just going to take, it's pretty clean. And alpaca, for the most part, at least the alpaca I've purchased, looks, oh wait, first I'm going to do one more thing before I do that. I'm going to add wool wash, and normally for wool I'll use Power Scour by Unicorn, and I really like it for getting rid of the lanolin and things like that. But since this is an easy wash, it's pretty clean, I'm going to use this little wool wash, and I actually got it from Castaway Yarns in the Sonoma Yarn Crawl, so I'm going to try that. Since we're not, well, really all we're doing is cleaning it. And I didn't read the directions, so I'm just going to put in a little bit. And to go back to what I was saying about alpaca, it looks pretty clean, but it's amazing the amount of dust that comes out of an alpaca fleece. I think they roll around a lot, but this is pretty clean. So I'm just gonna very slowly put it in there. And if it was hot enough where I was trying to get rid of lanolin, I wouldn't, I also wouldn't be putting my hand in there, because I get it really hot. I actually get it as hot. I've turned up the water heater to 140, and then I boil water and add that to it to try to get it up to about 160. And that usually gets rid of the lanolin pretty well. So I'm just going to do a tiny bit more. And then, and I'm not agitating it much. You can tell I'm just pushing down a tiny bit to get it soaking. So we'll let it soak for about 20 minutes and we'll come back. Hi, so we're back. It's been about 20 minutes, and I think you're gonna be surprised. The water is actually really clean. Lassen View, as I said, Lassen View Alpacas always have the cleanest fleeces. So anyway, I'm gonna pull it out because the little basket comes out. You see that? I'm really not having to disturb the fiber much at all. And I could pour it, but there's a little drain. Let's see if we can get that to work. So you can see it coming out, and it's pretty clean. I don't know if that helps. But it got a little bit out. Let me bring you this way. You can see. So there was a little bit in there, but not much at all. It was really, really pretty clean. So I'm going to finish emptying that, and then I'll rinse it, and more so in the wool than the alpaca, but alpaca too. Normally I would go through a couple rinses to make sure I got everything out, but this is so clean that I won't need to. But what I really like to do is once you wash the fiber, it feels really dry. There has been hardly any occasions where it doesn't feel dry. And so what I like to do is do a final rinse, and some people use vinegar, and I don't, because I don't know, maybe it brings the pH back, but vinegar is just not my favorite thing unless I'm dyeing wool. So I'll use a rinse, and there's a Unicorn also has a Beyond Soft, and it's kind of a fabric softener, and I use that not only my fiber but also after I've spun up some yarn and it's getting its bath after spinning. I always use something like this on it. It softens everything up, and after you wash something, you don't have that dry, just like your hair is really dry if you just wash it and don't condition it. So I'll use a rinse and a conditioner on it. And this one, I think I have a little bit of this left. I must have used it on some yarn. So I think it's kind of the same thing. It's Unicorn. It might be a different line of it. So once again, I'm going to fill up the tub, and about the same. I just used warm water. It wasn't really hot before, so I'm going to go for about the same, which I'm not achieving, about the same temperature. Although now it's pretty cool, but I don't want big temperature changes either, because that can felt it as well. So I'm just going to get warm water and fill it up and let it soak. And then I think the fun part will be spinning the water out of it. So normally I would just take it out and kind of press and do as much as I can with pressing, to get the water out, and then it has to sit outside. It'll dry much quicker outside in the California sun for quite a while. And the idea with this is you can spin it, it gets a lot of moisture out, so it'll dry much faster. And I like that idea. Okay, so that's, I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think we're close enough here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the conditioner and swirl it around. And then we're going to compact it down, huh? Then we're going to add the alpaca back in very slowly. I'm trying not to agitate it or get it upset in any way. And push it down a tiny bit. And then we will let this sit. I don't think that. Down there all the way. There we go. And we'll just let that sit for about 10 minutes. Hi there. We're back. And it's been, I think it was a little longer. It's been about 20 minutes, but that's okay. So the alpaca is completely rinsed. So I'm going to let it sit over here while I empty out the water from the rinse water. Okay. So now we're just going to seat this in there and put the little spinner top on. All right. And I don't know if you can see, probably can't, but water is coming out the drain hose. All right, let's go with that. And I'll put I have these little mini wire shelves. And normally I would be putting a whole bunch of them outside, or putting the ones you can use wire screen doors, screen doors replacement, just the screening, and then put it in between. I've stapled it between 2x2s, and then you can put that outside. Which works great in the summertime, not so well in the wintertime. So there it is, and it's pretty dry, and you can tell it's pretty fluffy. And I'll just set it out here. Normally I would put this in the bathtub, but because this spins it so dry, it's not dripping. So it's a little bit of hay. And that's it, other than the mess in the kitchen sink. So pretty easy. So the Avalon Eco Spin works really well for wool processing, and I'm going to use it to wool things that you've knit or woven or whatever. Work great for that as well. And after you spin and your yarn gets a soak, to work great for getting the excess moisture out, and so things will dry much faster. So thank you. Bye bye.